a former sheriff from southern Indiana, is facing 25 felony charges after allegedly spending hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars on luxury purchases including vacations, vehicles, and cigars. Jamie Knoll, 52, along with his wife, Misty, 50, and daughter, Casey Knoll, 27, are charged with a spate of felonies for spending as much as $5 million on the credit cards Jamie had opened in the name of the volunteer fire agency he ran, authorities said. The specific expenditures allegedly made by various members of the Knoll family are nearly too numerous to count, but include $56,000 on luxury cigars, more than $300,000 on vacation and travel, $25,000 on a small plane, in addition to cosmetic procedures, tanning, clothing, and vape products. The figures were included in recently revealed search warrants for the family's homes and cars. Sheriff Knoll became a local face about town when he appeared on Season 1 of the A&E show 60 Days in which the Clark County Prison critically examined its policies and treatment of inmates after volunteers are incarcerated undercover as prisoners for 60 days. The Clark County Jail was back in national headlines a few years later, when more than 20 female prisoners alleged in federal court they were attacked, harassed, and sexually assaulted after a deputy, David Lowe, sold the key to the women's wing for $1,000 to male inmates. That led lawsuits that implicated Knoll in the attacks. The three family members are also accused of receiving more than $3.5 million in income, merchandise, and services not reported on their tax returns over 5 years. Mr. Knoll is facing additional individual charges for allegedly buying more than 100 luxury cars using public funds and selling them at a personal profit, as well as using his former deputies as personal errand men and handymen on his private properties during work hours. Meanwhile, court documents have accused him of having an affair, during which he impregnated Clark County Council member Brittany Ferree, who gave birth to his child. It is alleged by prosecutors that Mr. Knoll used funds from the Volunteer Firefighters Association to pay his court-ordered child support. He previously served as a state trooper for 22 years before becoming a sheriff in 2015, according to Inside Edition. Mr. Knoll also ran the county's Republican Party in addition to the Utica Township Volunteer Firefighters Association. But his life as a public servant came crashing down last year when Indiana State Police investigators began seriously probing his finances, leading to his arrest last November. He was initially charged with 15 felonies, with an additional 10 charges for theft and tax evasion later added. Some 50 search warrants have been executed on the family's home and cars throughout the probe, in which police found thousands of dollars worth of designer clothes, including Tom James suits and Ferragamo shoes paid for with the fire nonprofit's credit cards, and 2 handguns. Meanwhile, in March, authorities seized 26 shipping containers filled with $7 million of missing military surplus equipment, which state police believe belonged to the sheriff's department and were hidden by Mr. Knoll during his time in the role. He also allegedly ordered some of his subordinates to do work around his house as they were on the clock for the sheriff's department, court documents say. The investigation hasn't slowed down since its inception, Special Prosecutor Richard Heffel told Inside Edition, noting he's not even sure there is an end in sight. The possibility for additional charges on Jamie is real, he added. State investigators first started probing Knoll's finances last year, after his successor, Sheriff Scotty Maples, found a hidden wiretap in the office of an assistant chief that led directly to Knoll's office. Maples ordered a full review of the department, during which more disturbing information came to light, he said in a post following Knoll's arrest in November. He said he soon discovered Knoll ordered several Clark County Sheriff's Office employees to work and perform maintenance on his personal property, investment properties, and business properties. These employees were instructed to conduct this work while being paid to work at the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Additionally, Maples said he discovered paperwork that had been falsified and forged to award pension benefits to a deputy who did not deserve them, but happened to be one of Knoll's family members. Investigators would later identify the former deputy as Knoll's brother-in-law, Bradley Kramer, according to Inside Edition. Kramer has not been charged in the investigation, the outlet notes. As part of an ensuing investigation, state police say they found Knoll used the Utica Township Volunteer Firefighters Association's credit cards on trips and luxurious clothes. Between 2018 and 2019, Noel allegedly spent $200,000 on Marriott vacation programs charged to the Firefighters Association's American Express, and in 2019, Noel and his wife took out more than $83,000 in loans for Marriott Vacation Club destinations, making monthly payments from the nonprofit's accounts, Louisville Public Media reports. More than $100,000 from the fund was also spent on his daughter's college tuition and other educational expenses, while another $56,000 was also spent at a cigar shop where Noel is known to be a regular customer, according to WHAS. Other expenses include Tom James suits and Ferragamo shoes, which were seized from his house, and more than 130 luxury vehicles, including Corvettes, Cadillacs, and a 1959 Chevy Bel Air, which he is accused of selling then pocketing the money. Noel even allegedly spent money from the jail's commissary fund for personal use. In one case, he allegedly bought a Bluebird bus for $12,000 with the commissary fund and titled it to the volunteer fire department, Louisville Public Media reported. He then transferred it to the sheriff's office days before his second term ended in 2022, and sold it to the department for $5,900, a loss of $6,100 to the county. Another nearly $1,400 in jail funds were also allegedly used to purchase a 75-inch television for his home. The state has since ordered Noel to repay more than $918,000 to the jail's commissary, according to Inside Edition. In other court documents, Noel is accused of having an affair with a Clark County Council member, who gave birth to his child, Inside Edition reports. He then allegedly used funds from the Volunteer Firefighters Association to pay court-ordered child support. State investigators are now continuing to probe whether Noel used fire agency funds to buy a $25,000 1958 Cessna plane in 2022. The plane's registration listed Noel as its owner in 2022, but a year later, it was registered to the fire department, Inside Edition reports. They are also looking into more than 24 shipping containers, a forklift, and even a train on private property. The former sheriff is now facing 15 felony charges for abusing his authority, and 10 more for theft and tax evasion. His wife, Misty, 50, and daughter, Casey, 27, are also facing theft and tax evasion charges for allegedly charging the Utica Township Volunteer Firefighters Association's credit cards on expenses including tanning salons, plastic surgeries, vape products, and Netflix subscriptions. If you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.